What's up guys, it's Endymion, and today I got another theory about Mass Effect's future and how the journey to Andromeda may have been influenced by not a person, but a race of beings instead. Fade, as you guys know, is one of my patrons, and Fade started talking about this concept, and then I began researching and realized this theory idea has been within the community since at least 2017, so I wanted to elaborate on it here. So the theory in question is this: what if the benefactor for the Andromeda Initiative wasn't a single person like the elusive man, but instead a network of minds like the Geth? It may sound crazy, but please watch till the end before commenting, as there's a lot to cover here and it should all make sense by the end. Thank you, so let's begin. So if we go back to the beginning of Mass Effect, we know that the Geth were the first race within the current cycle, of course, to make direct contact with the Reapers. This is why a large part of the Geth armada at the time becomes aligned with Sovereign and the events of the original game take place. And we learned from Legion that the Geth were not just one mind, but instead had different groups within their hive. One was the Heretics, for example, another didn't want to war with Organics, and so on. So the theory suggests that since the Geth were the first within the current cycle to discover the Reapers and the threat that they showed, the Geth began scrambling to create a plan to save a small amount of the current cycle's life. And we know the idea to go to Andromeda was discovered by the Geth first, but it wasn't until Sheoleth Vas Novara discovered the Colus Array within the Perseus Veil during his pilgrimage. For those unaware, the Colus Array is a Geth-made mega telescope that is literally 3 mass relays joined together by what is called strange technology, and it was made in secret by the Geth to observe the Andromeda galaxy in almost real time. Think about that for a second. Each system has a few mass relays at best, which means the Geth somehow took entire mass relays away from systems within the Milky Way without anyone noticing somehow. Then they dragged them to the Perseus Veil, reverse engineered them with all the power, and made a telescope so powerful they could peer into life across hundreds, if not thousands of years distance-wise in an instant. The Geth are insane, man. But after this, the Andromeda Initiative began, and Gian Garson, the visionary behind the project, was bled dry of her money trying to fund the project. And it wasn't until a mysterious benefactor who hid behind various faces and identities came to Garson in her time of need. The theory suggests that the Geth themselves were the benefactors and were secretly funding the project through unlimited funds, as Garson puts it, to allow for the construction of the arcs and such. Even Alec Ryder, the father of the Pathfinder, was ostracized and publicly shamed for advocating for the use of AI in the form of Sam. And weirdly enough, it was the benefactor who secretly helped Alec fund his dream project to create Sam and advance Sam from a simple AI into the almost omnipotent, all-knowing, capable being it ends up becoming when the Pathfinder uses it in Andromeda. I also need to mention that it's also discovered on the Quarian Ark, named the Kelasia, that various Geth are found in pods within the Ark under false names as well. And we need to also recognize that the automation and maintenance of the arcs within their 600-year travel to Andromeda were maintained and overseen by Sam, who is obviously an AI themselves, so they could have interfaced and talked to the Geth during this time. Which brings me to the big questions. Why are the Geth funding the initiative, and why do they want to save organic life so badly? I mean, they're synthetics themselves. What does the survival of organic life matter to beings who have no concept of death, family, fear, and so on? The simplest answer is that the Geth see organic life as a cosmic mutation, an organism that siphons the resources of entire worlds in order to sustain itself, and the Geth wish to understand organic life and correct the weaknesses of it. And the Reapers were simply a wrench in the gears that would destroy all life and rob the Geth of the time and test subjects for them to do so. So they created an ambitious plan to leave the Milky Way so they could study organic life, without the fear of the Reapers. But that seems too simple for me. It could be that the Geth saw something in the Colas Array that persuaded them to come to Andromeda. When I think about it, the Geth and the Colas Array were constructed and utilized within the 50,000 year gap between Reaper cycles. In Andromeda, a race like the Jardan, which I believe are also AIs, live in a place where the Reapers don't bother with, and they would have millions of uninterrupted time to create technology so advanced that it makes the Colas Array look like a Fisher-Price toy in comparison. So if the Geth were able to peer into Andromeda and catch a glimpse of the Jardan, who based on records were said to be in Andromeda actively meddling with the Angara and the Golden Worlds prior to the Initiative's journey, maybe the Jardan became aware of the Geth and their curiosity. For all we know, the Jardan, who are technologically advanced enough to create self-replenishing golden worlds, could have made contact with the Geth via the Colas Array and gave them the technology and code to ensure that the creation of Sam back in the Milky Way would be efficient enough to interface with the Jardan remnant tech once they got to Andromeda. And we know that the Geth, like any computer or software, can be hacked, as seen when Sovereign assumed control over the heretic Geth and used them as pawns in the first Mass Effect. And we also need to address that the Geth revered the Reapers and saw them as gods, so maybe when the Geth peered into the Andromeda galaxy, they witnessed the Jardan in their totality and saw something so otherworldly and radiant that they saw the Jardan as their saviors and wished to make contact. And I know this is a little bit of a stretch, but I mean the entire project is called the Andromeda Initiative, which, if you shorten the name to initials, it's literally called AI as well. That's probably just a weird coincidence, but I just wanted to point that out. Maybe the Jardan influenced the Geth and forced them to bring new life to Andromeda, or the Geth decided to leave the Milky Way to save the organics to preserve life, a sort of reverse Reaper idea. As for why the Geth as the Benefactor would order the death of Garson, well, that would be seen as an unfortunate necessity to ensure that the Benefactor's true identity was kept secret. Cause let's be real, if the Council races discovered that the Geth of all things were the ones funding the entire thing, the plug would have been pulled immediately. But I think that the Jardan are not evil like the Reapers. I think they're a race like the Geth that want to preserve life and study it to understand the reasons behind organic life needing to exist at all in the cosmos. Or maybe the Geth are indoctrinated by the Jardan and they're leading the lambs to the slaughter, but with the poster on N7 Day hinting at a big Geth connection, and my theory here, I mean, there has to be something. Or who the hell knows? Maybe the Jardan are like the Vex from the Destiny universe, and they're time travelers, and are secretly super advanced million-year-old versions of Geth who came into the past for some reason. Am I going crazy? Probably. This is me we're talking about. So let me know in the comments what you guys think, and thanks for watching. Subscribe for more, like the video to give my life meaning, and share it around if you want to. Thanks to my patrons, link is in the description box below, and I'm ENDYMION. This time of year is very busy, I'm sure many can agree, so I hope you understand the longer times between videos for now. I do plan to make a video on Spider-Man No Way Home soon, which I'm kind of nervous about because I do a lot of Mass Effect content and not a lot of superhero stuff, but let me know in the comments if you want to see that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.